Told you all this shelf that was free would come in handy. Where the fuck did I put that can? Over here. Set it somewhere over here. I am going with a different stainer. This one is called Special Walnuts, because I want walnut countertops. Alright, where's my stick stirrer? While the shit disappears. So much crap in here all moved around. Can't ever find anything. Where's my stick stirrer? Is it in the van? I know I left that. Alright, trash box. Put that there. And oops. Plug these down here. Extra gloves. There. Okay, I need something to stir the stainer up. I don't know what happened to my pot. Oh, there it is. Found it. I knew I had two of these. on this side. Oh, that's gonna come out nice. It's gonna look real nice. Oh, before I started, I wanted to put on some background music. So when I'm standing first, here is my kitchen counter and cabinet top.
Make sure I get this correct. Let's see. It's the Energia plant in Yells. It is responsible for producing Iskander-Ms and KH-35U sea-launched cruise missiles. Both of those types have been used in the Ukraine war, and the city of Yells did come under attack, and the facility was directly hit. We actually have the clip of it right here, and I'll be showing you all that right now.
So community
You see a
background,
car driving in, we can see a guy talking about the smoke that's rising over the street.
spokesman. What's up, guys? All right. Very carefully, if possible. Very much like to turn the shelf around.
We see them coming through, and it clearly is showing that the Energia plant has been hit.
This guy. All right, now I'm gonna use a sponge brush like a normal human being. Let's get started. Should be a nice dark walnut color.
We see the windows are blown out. And that is actually the one of the main workers'
There's some bright headlights. That is beautiful. See, I told you walnut was gonna look nice. Told you all.
That's quite an explosive way
The gun
of getting
stock,
fired at a ballistic missile
basically
plant.
my
But beyond
table
that, it
would have
does
ended
appear
up
that the facility
matching my
did take a
walls,
direct
which
hit
I
from the Ukrainian
would
drones,
have
and
done
it was
all
a
right, I
successful
guess,
attack.
but
Moving on outside of that news, in the
why
area
not,
of
like,
pets, we also were able to hear inside
add a
the
little
Russian
bit of
Federation
flavor to the
that
van
oil
and just
revenues
have
have
different
dropped to
looking
record
stuff.
lows.
We'll have a black
Very
bed,
unfortunate for the
which will
Russians.
match
Great
all this.
misfortune indeed, as Russia's oil revenue has dropped to a 2-year low for Bloomberg, with June
Have
2025
walnut
income
countertops.
falling nearly
Haven't decided
30%
what I'm gonna do
to
with the dust
$5.4
yet.
billion. Oil and gas tax revenues
These
are
lights,
down
by
a
the
third
way,
from
are
last
motion
year,
activated,
hitting
so
an
they go
economic
off and on
drain.
regularly.
Boo,
If you're
boo,
wondering
boo.
why it gets
Isn't
brighter
that
and
sad,
darker,
folks? The oil
a lot.
revenues have dropped 30% in a single month. I mean, that's a
And
damn tragedy
I
right
have
there.
that
They're getting
light, but
30% less
in
taxes,
my
and
van,
the
it's the
companies
only
that
other white
employ
light that I got.
millions of Russian
I needed
citizens,
in
which
there
are
in case I
also
gotta find
tax-paying
something.
citizens, and also are major contributors to the economic
So I think
machine
this
of
should
the
be plenty
Russian
bright
Federation,
enough for you
are
guys.
seeing a 30%
We're not
drop in
really doing
revenue the
anything
month.
crazy
Oh,
tonight,
that's a damn
but
shame.
it will
Sounds
look
as
a
though
lot
the
nicer
Russian
when this
economy
is
might
done.
be
And
in
the
for
reason
some
I'm doing this today
layoffs,
is
maybe.
because it's not
Maybe a
supposed
lot
to
of people
rain
will be getting unemployment here soon. Russia
tomorrow
is a
or on
welfare state
Sunday,
after all.
and
And so
this
that
will
means
give 2
that if
days
all
for
of
it
these
to
Russian
dry,
employees are laid off from their jobs, they're all going to file
so
for
I could finish
unemployment.
the
And the Russian
countertops up
government
this
has to pay
weekend.
out that
They're almost
unemployment.
done.
Generally, unless
Well,
they
finish
deny
them
it,
up
they
as
might
much
try
as
to
I
deny
can
it.
because
But what's
the
kind of interesting
track
about
that
that
I
is that you
ordered
have to
to
pay
do
out
my
all
barn
of that
doors in the
unemployment
front of the
while
cabinet
taking in 30% less
won't be here
revenue for the
until
first
I
month
think
than
I'd
they
like to
were
say
the
it said
last month.
July
So
14th,
they're having to pay out a
which is
lot
out of my
more, but they're
control.
getting
I
a
just
lot
ordered
less
them.
in to pay that with. So the economic
So whenever I end up
situation
getting
for the
those,
Russian government is going to be exacerbated
I
greatly,
can
at
finish the
least here soon.
cabinets, but
Once a larger amount of
the
these companies
cabinets will
like
basically
Gazprom,
be done.
Lukoil,
The
and so on
countertop will be
begin to
done.
lay
I'll
off
be
a
able to
lot of
start
those
working
people
on
that
my
they can't
sink
really
and
afford to pay
plumbing.
anymore. But moving
So
on
I
now
wouldn't
to
be
Russian
putting those
Federation
cabinet
and
doors
on to
on
the state of
anyways
Ukraine,
until
we
I
were
was
able to hear
absolutely
the
done
air
with
defense
everything,
report
you know?
overnight, and it was pretty decent.
So
Last
that's
night was a
fine.
milder night.
No
Only
big
52
deal.
drones made it into Ukrainian airspace. 22 were shot down directly,
I'm just
and
doing a
18 of
little
them were
bitty
taken out
tweak
through electronic
of multiple
warfare
different
patterns. We
things
also were able to
until I
hear
get done.
outside of that in our
Some
location in
projects
Mills, some
last a
pretty
while
interesting
because it's
stuff.
the
First
process,
off, we
some
were able
don't,
to see
some
a
are
Russian
quick.
soldier shooting at a drone. It was quite an interesting
Some I have to
event.
hold off on
It
until
appears
I
to be
do other things.
generally archival, at
I
least in
probably
the
could have
source of the
finished the
footage.
wall
But
panels
that
by
doesn't
now,
mean
but
anything.
I'm
Observe the
still
clip
adding in
and appreciate
electrical
how
stuff. I still haven't
he's shooting
done
at
the
the
solar
drone.
panels yet because I'm waiting on a very small plastic piece that protects the water from going into the van. Because I was just seeing the problem I had with the leak this week, and I don't really want to do that again. That wasn't fun. I'm just waiting for that. And then I'm just going to run some of that 14 gauge wire to places where I know I'm going to have to hook up to, and then I'll be able to hook up that roof paneling, which will look really nice once that's done. Be able to do my lights. I keep going back and forth with what kind of lights I wanted to go with, but I think I decided I'm just going to go with the puck lights. I think the puck lights are probably the best with having a low lining roof and that other, I don't know what you call it, a chandelier. It stuck out from the roof pretty far. And I think that would have ended up, I'd hit my head on it a bunch of times, you know?
Take a look at this thing.
Plus, the puck lights are cool. You could change colors. You can do soft light. You could do bright light if you're trying to find something or work on something in the van.
Very clean indeed. I gotta tell you, very impressive stuff. Love to see it. Meanwhile, we also got to see.
And when I get done with this, I gotta brew my tea before I go to bed. So I'll probably be doing a game stream whenever I get done with the staining. But this is pretty much the only thing that I can do late at night without making a bunch of noise.
Special equipment has appeared. But beyond that, on the 3rd of July, the Russians' losses are as follows.
I was going to do a stain stream last night, but my roommate had family over.
One main battle tank,
Got
21
spent the
artillery
night,
pieces,
and
85 drones,
I didn't want to be coming in and out of the house late at
Today
night.
was a great day, and Enforcer Matt, he does rejoice. This is what the entire special operation Matthew was on was about, was to go and take care of one Bobcat skid steer.
Plus, it rained today, and I would have been pissed because there would not have been any place to put all this
Very
wood.
neat to see. Outside of that, moving on out of our location.
So this is definitely going to probably need one more coat tomorrow night. So I would plan on doing another one of these streams tomorrow night when I get done with work.
Which is in the Kupiansk front, which is incredibly good to hear. Outside of that,
We get to do this all over again, the same pieces that I'm doing tonight, because I don't know if you can see the angle, but how dark it looks right now is just because there's globs of it on here right now. And it's going to end up looking much lighter when I'm done. Now, I really want this thing to be like a nice chestnut color. Well, it's walnut, but nice dark walnut color. And the grain's already starting to look beautiful. I think I picked out a really good piece of wood here for the countertop. It's a 1/4 inch thick, which is plenty thick enough. Not putting anything heavy on it, not sitting on it, not standing on it. And then again, the bed is only a 1/4 inch, and I'm laying on it. So figure. And I'm really digging this spot. I don't know why I didn't just use this to begin with. It makes far less of a mess. My hands aren't covered in stainer. It's not fucking slopping over off of the rag. I think the rags did a quicker job because it soaked up so much stainer as I was applying it. But I think the sponge is much neater, and you can control how much you're putting on at one time. Like I just keep adding layers. And I got the special spray stuff. I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna spray it tonight because I need to do another layer. But after tomorrow, I spray the stuff on this, and it really locks it in. And then depending on how it turns out when I spray that clear stuff on tomorrow, will determine if I decide I'm going to do an epoxy or resin on top of this, like a clear something, like a thick surface, clear surface, give it that nice shine and lock everything in, or maybe I don't need to. Maybe it's not necessary. Got a budget cut as much as I can. And so far, this has not been cheap. I think I added up between the repairs and everything. The purchase of the van, since I got the van, I spent a total of around, like to say, $5,200, which in the grander scheme of things really isn't that much if you think about it. It's not really for what you're going to end up getting out of it. Like this could end up
himself
be
from
in
the
my home
ballistic missile
on wheels.
attacks and cruise missile attacks the Ukrainians are
I
firing.
don't know how many people out there can spend, you know, $6,000-7,000 and own their home and not even have a car payment and go anywhere they want and live comfortably, you know. So for the cost of what most people spend on this type of lifestyle, I'd say even the end of all this, like, came out pretty good. And I'm sure I'll end up spending even more money over time. Look how nice this is coming out. That is nice. Smooth and going back and forth until I get all that excess stainer off, absorbed into this wood. That looks really nice. I don't know what this would be like to watch on a live stream, but I would imagine it's satisfying to watch it go from one state to another.
Holy moly!
Okay, let's do the edges.
That's anything great to see on the Russian drone side was a significant success. It does appear that with this attack today, the Ukrainians were largely aiming or attempting to achieve a complete destruction of the Russian armed forces drone activities or a large cessation of it within the Zaporizhia front.
I appreciate the ones that are here hanging out. I know it's not like a major production tonight, but y'all don't really understand how important this is. I mean, this is going to be one of the main pieces of furniture that you all are going to see on camera the most, along with the desk and the bed. It's going to be the most visible pieces of furniture. And, well, I think it's kind of cool that you all get to see the process on how it goes from this to what it looks like on future videos. There's going to be a lot of good food cooked on this thing. There's going to be a lot of good memories made.
You see here that he's trying to fire at the drone.
I actually found a vanlife gourmet cookbook on Amazon, believe it or not, on how to cook, like recipes, how to make gourmet dishes like you would get at a really nice restaurant, with certain ingredients to where it doesn't require, you know, per se, like a humongous production like you might think, you know. And I thought that was pretty cool. I think I'm going to get that. And I'm not really good at following recipes. I end up changing them. But regardless, I'm going to be cooking a lot of interesting food. Not just basic shit. I'll be eating basic shit too a lot of times. I'm sure I'm not going to feel like, just like now, I don't feel like cooking like crazy things every night, but I figure once or twice a week I'll make some really cool stuff in the van. I'll definitely document it, you know, part of the channel. I mean, I'll also document too, you know, whenever I make stuff like, maybe tonight I just want to do some hot water and ramen or like an MRE. I'm buying a case of MREs to store in the back, in the garage there, in case I ever get stranded somewhere or something quick, or I want to take something hiking. For people that don't know what an MRE is, it is basically the same exact thing that the military gets overseas when they're on missions or somewhere where they can't cook. Very high in calories. I don't know if they're good for you, but I know that they're very high in calories and nutritional. Give you a lot of energy. Regardless, I'm gonna get maybe I'll get 2 cases of those. My favorite ones are the beefaroni ones, the lasagna ones, and can't remember the name of the other. It's kind of like a jambalaya. Or chili mac is really good too. Uh-oh. The thing's coming out. Oh no. This broke pretty quick. Coming out, guys. The hell? I just started using this.
несе
I
відчуття
don't. It doesn't go
передбачуваності.
back there.
Ви дотримуєтесь своїх обіцянок.
Just
І
when they got a
разом
whole bag.
ми можемо досягати значення результатів. Тому дякую вам за це. І я також хочу подякувати нашим друзям, які є президентами європейських інституцій, Антоніо, Урсула. І навіть в такі символічні дні, як початок головування, ми не фокусуємось на символічності, а робимо справжні рішення, приймаємо справжні рішення. Це важливо. Ми говорили про те, наскільки важливо закривати прогалини в фінансуванні захисту.
Can you guys not hear me or
Ми
something?
працюємо над отриманням реальних
Hold on.
результатів спільних програм.
Can you guys not hear me?
Працюємо над тим, щоб Європейський Союз міг дотримувати своїх обіцянок.
Or are you talking to someone else?
Готова розпочинати роботу в кластері доступу
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to do a couple of extra coats on
щодо
this
рішень,
because it can be really dark,
програмами для двох сторін. Дякую за вашу
but
пані програму. Ми в Україні створили
I think it's gonna take a few coats to take.
Я розповідав сьогодні цю історію. Це нагорода для хлопчиків та дівчат.
I know. Let me know in chat if you can hear me. If not, I'll have to figure out what the fuck's going on. I'm on my computer, so it should be working. Didn't have any issues on the computer. I used it the other day. Or is the phone speaker drowning out the microphone?
Які будуть дійсно бажати допомагати. І цей центр розпочався. У мене була честь вручити цю нагороду хлопчику, який живе тут, в Данії. Він є громадянином Данії. Його звати Єнс.
I guess maybe not if you all aren't replying to me. That's really strange. It's telling me my mic's working. It's got the little green lights going when I talk. That's okay if you guys can't hear me. I'm not really saying anything too important anyways. This is more of a visual stream. This is a stream for people that can't hear. Oh, that's weird. Some random car just pulled over in front of the house.
І це було дійсно зворушливо. Але якщо подумати про це, то це насправді було зворушуюче і політично. Адже бажання допомогти іншим
Just randomly pulled over on the side of the road.
під час війни.
And sometimes we get semi trucks that pull over, but not cars.
І це саме те
See?
повідомлення, яке знаходиться в серці європейського
Now they pulled away as soon as I turned my camera on it. Weird. Mind you, we're in the middle of nowhere. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is definitely going to be, this is exactly what I was wanting. That's why I think when I went with black in my mind, I wanted something dark, and my brain didn't compute, black, flat black. I'm thinking like, oh, the green of the wood will show up in the black, and it really doesn't. The black it's almost like you're just spray painting something black. And I wanted something that would really show the design of the piece of wood underneath, but still be dark in color. And this is really close to what I had envisioned. The gun stock is just a little bit too red and too light, I think. Even with a lot of coats, I think it would have, more coats would have just given it more of a redder color. And I don't really know how I feel about my countertop matching my walls. I don't know. Seems not like something that I want to do. So eventually I'm going to have to try and flip this over. Or actually, no, I'll let it dry a little bit and I'll move on to a different piece of wood. But tonight I got to flip this over and get underneath, because even though most of this will be concealed inside the cabinet, I want to stain the whole piece, you know? Just feel like the whole thing should just be stained. It's not hard to do. Maybe I don't have to put on as many coats underneath, but I don't want it to just look like a raw piece of wood. I'll give you guys a close-up view here in a minute, what it's starting to turn out like. And more exciting news, I ordered a chest mount for a phone, which also can work for a GoPro. It's got the same fitting for a GoPro, and then it's got a phone holder, and it goes in your chest like a chest strap. So when I do lives like this, or I'm working in the van still, or I'm just trying to film some POV content when I move into the van, you guys will have a much better view. You'll actually see what I'm seeing. And then I don't have to worry about my phone sitting somewhere or falling. And you guys can hear me because the phone's literally right on me. I don't know when that's going to come in. I got it through the TikTok store for like 13 bucks, I think it was. Much cheaper than buying a GoPro strap, I know that much. GoPro straps are pretty expensive. They're like 35 bucks. So we'll see. That will definitely make for, especially right in the home stretch when I'm about done with the van, those videos will just start to get a lot better. Gotta be careful. Like with this sponge, it works, but if you push down too hard, it leaves a very big streak. And it looks uneven. So I gotta do this and do it like lightly. Oh yeah. All right. Set this down for a second. What's up, OJ? Haven't seen you in a hot minute. I don't think I have anything on my fingertips. So. This is how it's starting to come out. Turn on light just for a second. Yeah, it's starting to look pretty good, isn't it? It's going to come out real nice, I think. It's going to look really nice. Oh, one thing I haven't done yet, I haven't measured this. I just sort of went by looks when I was in Home Depot. I'm pretty sure I'll have to end up cutting it a little bit shorter. But let's see. About right there. I can measure this. There is always a whole bunch of fun things, interesting stuff to talk about, either from live chats to super chats or anything in between. But we are going to be making sure to get on into talking with all of y'all here very soon. But before we do that, we do have one last poll, as we were able to hear that Russia's oil revenue is declining steadily and has reached into a 2-year low. Will this influence the Russian economy? And 47% are saying yes, Russia needed that money bad. 29% said no, Russia will find new purchasers. 12% said, yeah, it seems like a minor problem. And some are unsure and undecided. So this is 6'1" and the skeleton for this, and there is exactly 6 inches in length, like right on the money, 6 inches. This is 6 inches in one. However, I could leave it hanging over each side, where this kind of hangs over the edge of the bed by 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch over the side where the driver's seat is, which makes more sense because when you have a counter, you want it to have a little bit of overhang, not just go straight right up against the wall of the cabinet. Have a little bit of a lip, which I want a lip because I wanted to go underneath the lip in the front and the sides with LED lights. So it would illuminate the barn door cabinets underneath. So actually, I think I picked out the perfect size of wood, and I don't think I'm going to have to do anything other than stainless. I think I got the perfect piece of wood here. So I got to move on to another piece now. I'm going to move on to, I'm going to get this all over my hands. I'm moving on right now. I'm going to let this dry for a little while. Prop it up over somewhere where it's not going to get dirty. Right there would work. As good as anywhere else. Now I'm going to move on to the wood I'm going to be using for the siding of the cabinets, and also the same wood I'm using to build the barn cabinet doors. So basically the doors are going to end up looking like those fancy sofa tables with these sliding doors, but the doors end up looking like a barn door. So basically what I'm going to end up doing is taking a flat piece of 1/4 inch plywood. I'm going to do very thin trim pieces around the sides, the top, and the bottom of it, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces of trim to do an X in the middle, and then I'm going to stain all those pieces a different color because it's trim. Probably do the gun stock, which will tie it into the walls. The rest of it will be this walnut color. And I'm going to actually build my own barn doors and then use the track I'm getting in Amazon to mount it onto the cabinets, and they will slide from side to side. There will be 2 of them. And I think I'm going to do they're shorter than a standard cabinet because it's a shorter surface, but I could do wider doors. You can do them as wide as I want. So I think those are going to look really nice. Because I couldn't find anything for sale that was it.
Former DoD contractor here, now joining a major band on tour overseas in October. Where may I find a shirt on stage? And also on by his news in the music. Oh, hey, well, thank you so much for the kind words. Next time, and hey, thank you also greatly for wanting a shirt to promote
This is a very long picture. This is why we're doing this outside tonight, because I knew I wasn't going to be able to fit this inside that back room. Really long. That is a long piece of wood. But this is going to end up being part of the counter and the door. And there's 2 pieces like this. There's this one and the other one. I'm only going to stain one because I think all I need is one. Because I'll have a door about this long. Another door, same length. And then 2 slim pieces for the siding. And the trim, which will go along the top of the cabinet, I want to do the gun stock stain. So, anyways, let me push you guys back a little bit. Get a better view. Oops, wrong way. Like that. There we go.
Attention, or at least the enforcement channel is able to get some promotion in front of a large audience. Because it always does
Hey,
help
Lisa,
out.
welcome
It's
to
just a bit
the
of
chat.
right now to where we can sell the shirts for
We're doing
profit.
a
We actually do know how to do that. We've done it before. It's just
nice, relaxing stream. I'm sure I'm not the only person that had a long, busy day today.
Accounting and business things that we have to do in the background by hand after we do merch runs. It's impossible
But honestly,
to sell them, for profit, at least at the moment.
I just got done standing at work for 9 hours, and I really didn't feel like doing this tonight, but honestly, this is kind of like chill and relaxing to do for me. It's not really that big of a deal.
But a huge thanks to you so much once again, because if it wasn't for folks like you, we wouldn't be able to keep this channel running max 9 minutes.
It's not putting me to sleep, but it's also not like doesn't take much energy to do it. And the best part is I'm not trying to do this in my hot box of a van when it's 90 degrees out and I'm just breathing in fumes all day. Shit was making me lightheaded when I was trying to do that bed. Whenever I finish the bed, I'm going to definitely put the air conditioning in there. Oh, that's another thing I ordered. So I ordered, basically they don't sell anything for vehicles to go with a portable air conditioning unit like what I have. So I had to get creative. So I figured out the diameter of the exhaust hose on my AC is 5 inches. And they sell dryer exhaust vents that usually go on the back of the house, all different sizes. They have from 4 inches to 6 inches, 7 inches. I didn't even know they made exhaust hoses that big, but they do apparently. And basically, I'm going to find a good position for the exhaust with the AC unit in the van, and wherever that may be, I'm going to end up making a 5-inch hole inside of the van and hooking up the exhaust port. And it has a bug screen on it, so bugs can't get in through it. And it also has these flaps that open automatically anytime air's coming out of it. So they'll close when the AC is not on. So from the side of the van, it's got a cover, it's got a rain cover on it, so water can't come in, and then under the cover, the vents will open when the AC's on. And I think that's way better. 5 inches, a 5-inch hole is way better than another 16 by 16 hole in the roof, you know? And I can either do it a higher hole, like I can go high in the wall with it, or I can go low, kind of by where the back tire is. I haven't decided yet, but I also ordered a more durable exhaust hose that's 5 inches. The tube that came with the air conditioning unit isn't really meant to be moved around a bunch, and it's also probably not meant for a car. I figure, like, you know, a lot of bumps in the road might jar it or rip it, and there's not any way of tightening it, which was the other issue, because it's basically paper mache. It's like a very light plastic and can easily break. And the rubber exhaust hose thing that I ordered has these metal, I don't know what they're called, but they're like round latches that you put over the ends and tighten them. That way, it doesn't come off of wherever you have it. So the AC unit's going to be nice once that's in. I'll be able to shut my doors and crank the air conditioning and actually be cold. And I got a battery in the mail that is strong enough to power it without plugging it into the house, which I'm sure I'll test out quite a few times. Make sure it works. Now I will say it would be pushing roughly around 1,200 to 1,400 watts to start it, and then a consistent 600 to 700 watts to run. And it's not something I'm going to be able to leave running for long periods of time. So, like, I might get an hour and a half out of it. Because, you know, you're charging other things at the same time. So basically, with the van being well insulated, I'll be able to run it for like, basically you set the temperature to it to a certain temperature, and then it kicks on its own. But I'll be able to run it for 30 minutes at a time. It'll cool it down in there to that temperature, and then, you know, about an hour later, have to kick it on again, cool it back down, stuff like that. So there's not really any
he's elsewhere.
batteries out there
Matthew, would you like to tell
that are able to run something that powerful for longer periods. That makes sense. But if I'm in an emergency situation and it's really hot out and there's no way that, I'm going to be able to go without AC for a long time or here or there, I'll be able to turn my van on. And through the power inverter through my van, I will be able to run the air conditioning unit as long as I have gas in my van. So that's cool too. And also it would charge my battery, power generator. So keep that in mind. Either way. So here's another cool thing. A friend of mine, I'm not going to dox where it is, but a friend of mine owns a campground up here in New York. There's a lot of campgrounds, but he owns one of them. I was offered, if I want to stay there and hook up to one of the campsite power banks or whatnot, he would only charge me $10 a night. All I would be using is possibly to fill up my water tanks and a little bit of regular electricity each night. Or if I want to just do some wild camping, because they have some wild camping spots on property, he's not charging me anything for those. So that will be nice. I definitely might do that once or twice a week. Because there's going to be times where I may not have enough solar power throughout the day to charge my batteries, or maybe I'm not working that day, so I can't charge my battery while I'm at my job. And for $10, that gets me power if I need to dump my 5.8 gallon toilet. Can do that. So that will be nice. Just so happens that they own a campground, which is pretty awesome. There might be some days where I don't want to have to worry about the power, or having to check every hour where my battery levels are at. What am I able to run to where I can make it the rest of the day, or something like that? It'd be nice to have days where I can just plug in at a regular campsite. I have unlimited power that night. I also have the option of spending nights at my job and plugging into the building, because I have an amazing boss. So if I don't feel like driving anywhere after work, I could just stay there overnight. You got lots of options, and then on top of that, there's a ton of free wild camping spots all over the place in upstate New York. So that's why for now, to make things a little bit more economical, I'm only making sure I have enough battery to survive for 2 or 3 days at a time. 2-3 days on my own without having to plug in anywhere, where it would be easy to be able to go anywhere, basically. And then as I save my money up when I'm living in the van, I'll be able to start improving my electrical system, adding batteries. I am getting 4 Renogy batteries, but they're roughly $250 to $300 a piece, depending on how their deals on them change every week. It just depends what week it is, I guess. But I am going to have those, which I'm planning on putting into my appliance electrical system. So I'm going to have certain things that run off those, and some things that run off of the Blue Eddy batteries. And over a long period of time, it actually helps not max out everything all the time. Like, for example, if I have four 250 watt hour Renogy batteries going through a 3000 watt inverter, and all I'm using that for is my lights in the van and my refrigerator, without even charging it or having solar power, that calculates to roughly 48 to 36 to 48 hours of battery life on one charge without charging. And the refrigerators out there don't really require that much power, but they also have a freezer in them. So it just depends how cold you want one side of the fridge and the freezer, and that will determine whether you get 36 hours on one charge or 48 hours. If you're just doing just a refrigerator, no freezer, the whole thing's just a fridge, then you'll get your maximum amount of time out of it. And then, depending on what fridge you get, but the one I'm getting has a battery backup built into it of 4 hours. So, say I run out of power unexpectedly or something happens and I got groceries in that fridge, well, I now have 4 hours to go find a place to recharge my batteries or go plug in somewhere without losing all my groceries. There's the one thing people don't really think about when they get into something like this lifestyle is you don't have the luxuries of when you're home where you just plug into a wall and have unlimited power. You have to actually think about, if I'm going to play MLB The Show for 2 hours tonight, that means I can't have any lights on and I can't run my AC unit until I'm ready to go to bed. Or if I'm on a night, some nights I don't want to run my console or do anything, I just want to get cleaned up and go to bed, I might be able to start up, my exhaust fan, my air conditioning, cook an actual meal that might require an electric stove or air fryer. But there's always got to be a trade-off, unless you're plugged in at a campsite, or in my case, a lot of times what I might end up doing is I might either just cook my food at work because I have a whole kitchen, or stay plugged in at work when I get off and cook my food while I'm there, while I'm hooked up to power, and then go. But, not everybody can do that when you're doing van life. But when I start traveling across the country, by that time I'll have a much more improved power system. And more than likely by then, I probably will end up having the rooftopper with an actual RV air conditioning unit, which definitely would use way less power to run the AC in it. See, I got a cheaper AC unit, but it definitely uses more power than the kind that are meant for RVs. And there's some options you can do with propane. With the propane, you got to buy propane, of course, but you can get that anywhere. And it uses way less electricity to keep it running. There's just lots of things you got to think about. And especially me, this is my first time doing it, and the only knowledge I had coming into this was years of watching other people do this type of lifestyle. And kind of learn from what other people did. This one's coming out pretty nice too. I like this walnut color. I think this is a good pick. But if anybody asked me, if you were able to change your mind and go back to before you buying this van, knowing everything you know about it now, and the struggles and the costs and not just the costs, but the aggravations, the work that goes into building this thing out, would you change it and just Because I could have went and just rented an apartment somewhere and signed a year lease, and I would have been fine. I would have not had as much money to be able to go do things each month because your rent at minimum is $1,200 a month plus utilities. But if somebody asked me if I had the opportunity to change my mind and get all my money back, I would probably say no. What I might say is maybe I might wait a couple more weeks, 2 more weeks, to find a bigger van. That might be the only thing I change, but again, even with that, like, this van's so easy to upgrade to make it better. Well, maybe I'd take that money and spend it on getting a rooftop. And I think that my only regret with this van is initially that I can't stand it. But it's something I could live without doing for a while. No problem. Crouching, sitting, not the cook, sitting for everything pretty much in there. No problems with it. Building it and crouching sucks. I will say that. It's like hard to work in there when you're trying to build it. It's very uncomfortable. It's hot. It's cramped when you're trying to swing giant pieces of wood around in there to get things just right before you cut it or nail it in. But yeah. The trade-off for me is I can go anywhere I want to go. I can wake up one day and just be like, I don't want to work in New York anymore. I want to go to out west. I'll find a job ASAP online, or I'll find a seasonal gig. Like I found one seasonal job, which y'all know, that I'll be doing in October, but that's only good for 5 to 6 months. And then I got to find something else, or wait and then do the same thing in another season if it's available. But just having the ability to just pick up everything in your entire life is just in one place already on wheels. You don't have to even move. You don't have to pack up. You don't have to move out of somewhere. You can just go wherever you want to go. You don't have kids. You don't have a wife. You don't have a family. You don't have people that, will get mad at you if you just go. You can just go. You can do whatever you want to do. And to me, that is far more valuable than a $1,200 a month place that I'm renting. Or basically, I'm just giving all my hard-earned money to someone else for a hole in the wall, when I could have my own hole in the wall. So, definitely something to think about if anybody else in the world is thinking about doing this. Hey, you guys can't hear the radio, or you don't want to hear the radio? All I got to do is just move my phone over here. They're talking about the war in Ukraine. I like listening to it. Is that better? All right, so this is finished for now. In fact, I'm not really doing multiple coats on this, so I don't think this is the right spray. That is clear coat enamel. I'm pretty sure that's for the outside of my van. But over here, polyurethane. I keep saying epoxy. What I mean is polyurethane. But there's a kind of polyurethane where you paint on, or you pour it and you smooth it out. Like it's thicker than the spray, but I'm just doing the spray because it's easier and it's cheaper. And if it comes out looking nice the same way, then that's all I care about. But possibly the countertops, depending on how this ends up looking. Maybe I'll go with the heavier duty stuff, you know. I don't know what this white stuff is that's coming out of this can. But I'll smooth it out with a brush. Basically, this just locks in the stain. I don't know why it's doing that. It's shooting like bubbles out. Oh, just know if I fuck this up, all I gotta do is flip it over and do the other side. And then this would just be on the inside of the cabinet. I don't know why it's spitting all these white bubbles out. I'm gonna do the edges. Oh, this is supposed to lock it in and give it a nice shine. I use this on the walls, but I didn't really notice much of a difference after I did it. I don't know if I didn't put enough on the walls. But I did notice the walls weren't rubbing off on my hands like the bed did. I didn't even use this on the bed. I wasn't done with the bed. Alright, let's see. Just smooth this out with a small brush. What I'm gonna use well, there's not really anything on this. I'm gonna go ahead and coat the top of this. Just pretend I just poured this stuff on here. Now I'm trying to smooth it in. Yeah, it looks pretty nice actually. I like it. Oh yeah. That light comes back on. It looked nice when that light was on. But these are the worst motion lights ever. They come on for 1 second and then they turn off. Literally 1 second. They're the worst. They don't work. Actually, you know what? I have a better idea. Got a better idea. Kind of what I got these. Oh yeah, this is way easier. Kind of rub it in. And this pulls all that excess stain off. I'm kind of rubbing that polyurethane in there. So it actually locks in. That's better. These rags are only good though for so much, and then they get full. You throw them out. And all you're doing is just pushing around the stain. Yeah, once I wipe this, the color of this is just awesome. It just looks so good. Why didn't I use walnut to begin with? Like, I like the gun stock. Don't get me wrong on the walls, but I mean, I would have been happy with this on the walls. This would have looked good. By the way, happy 4th of July, people. I don't know if it's midnight yet, but happy America Day. Independence Day. Let's see the comments. What's the law? I'm not doing any whistling out here. I don't know if you guys know what a skinwalker is, but I've heard some weird shit out here because I'm surrounded by woods, and these are technically Appalachian Mountains. We're at like the northern range of the Appalachian Mountains up here. And I don't know about any of you, but I heard not to whistle in the woods. I heard that very bad things happen. And in my case, what would end up happening is it would come out of the woods just to fuck my van up, and then it would go. That's all it would do to me. Which would really suck. Alright, well, I'm glad I grabbed these cloths from work today. I had the best boss ever, man. Like, hey, do you care if I grab some cloths? Work on my van? Yeah, sure, whatever you need. In all fairness, though, she wants me to get closer to work so I can pick up more shifts and hours and be more available than I am. Because people call out all the time, and I'm not like always an option to call because I'm an hour away, so I can't be there in a jiffy. But when I end up living closer, I'd be a lot happier they'll be able to have someone to call that actually shows up on time and is there and does a good job. Hence why I got permission to just camp outside of my job from time to time. She basically said you could stay out as many nights as you want. It's not going to matter. But for me, anyways, there's just I don't really want to live at my job, if that makes sense. I got a van with wheels. I can literally go anywhere. So unless I absolutely have to survive, maybe I have a battery issue and I gotta wait for a battery to come in the mail and I don't even have a way to charge anything, and I have to stay at my job for however long that I would, because I can have unlimited power there. But in terms of, I don't think anyone would want to live at their job. I will be living, different places, but 5 to 10 minutes away from work most of the time. But I think I told you all this. Every weekend that I'm off, which is usually Sunday through Monday, and I'm not back to work until like Tuesday late afternoon, I am planning on going on road trips until I leave the state of New York at the end of the year. My first trip is going to be in Stowe Mountain, Vermont. Like my first official trip living in my van. I'm going to be doing a camping trip before that once I have my battery, just to test everything out. That's going to be somewhere in upstate New York. I haven't decided where yet, but I wanted to stay closer in case I have any issues. But I'm going to be doing lots of trips. I'm planning every weekend, which each week, So my episodes that I'll be posting on YouTube will consist of, like just regular van living, not much going on. Just a typical day in van life, and then maybe the same episode I'll have coverage of traveling on a trip somewhere cool. Or maybe I'll just do multiple episodes a week. I don't know. If I have enough content and footage and I have time to edit everything, then I might do multiple videos. But I'll definitely make sure you guys have a video once a week on Sunday at the same time every week. Make sure everybody has a way to kick back and watch a positive van life video. Especially, let's say within the first week that I move into the van, the first thing that I'm buying is a damn DJI Mini Pro drone. So my videos off the rip are going to be really good. And maybe not the first 2 episodes that I make, but when I get that drone and I can get some cool aerial footage of some campsites and When I'm doing like kayaking and stuff like that, I can just have the drone follow me in the water. That would be pretty cool. I'm also going to get a couple of GoPros. I'm just going to go with the GoPro Hero 10 Black. It's an older GoPro, but it literally films in 4K and it does everything that I need it to do. And they're cheaper. So because they're cheaper, I can get more of them. And I want at least two so I can have like a POV view sometimes and then simultaneously be filming from a third person view. And then also the drone. But the drone's only good for 40 minutes and the battery dies. Unless you have more batteries, which they're expensive. So it might take me a little while to get batteries. But the drone would be nice to have like a cameraman. Basically AI cameraman. Oh, there's my other stir stick. I knew it was in the frickin' bin. It was hiding under that wood. Alright, so I got a whole nother sheet of wood in here. I gotta get it out of the van because I'm tired of it sliding up front. It's trying to come up into my front cab. But I'm not actually going to stain this one yet because I don't know if I'm going to even need it for starters. I think my plan, the reason I had them cut the second piece exactly the same as that one was because I was thinking about using this for the bed. I'm not done with the bed yet. I'm done with the bed, but I got to close the bed up. But the reason I haven't closed the bed up yet, obviously, is because I need to be able to still buy things from Home Depot and stick them through the bed to be able to lay out flat in my van. So if I ended up building the shelf underneath to divide the front from the back, I wouldn't be able to get long pieces of wood or 2x4 into my van. That's why I'm waiting to do that. Basically, when I finish the cabinets and the desk, and I get all the paneling for my walls and ceiling, which I have a good amount. I don't know if it's enough to finish it, but basically once I'm done with all that, I can close the bed up. Because then I don't have to buy anything big anymore. I don't have any long sheets of wood I gotta stick in there. That makes sense to people. But that's kind of why I haven't finished staining the bed, and I haven't finished closing the bed off, because I also don't know how I'm going to have my electrical system hooked up yet. I don't know if I'm just going to build my circuit board onto a separate piece of wood and put that in, or if I'm going to install, the sheet of wood on the side of the bed and just drill into that. So I don't know. I'm not going to know until I get that Blue Yeti battery in, because I got to have room for that. That's probably almost the size of that cooler down there. It's pretty big. And it's about 46 pounds, I think they said. It's pretty heavy. And then I got 2 to 4 Renogy batteries. And the bed's only really tall enough, I think, to stack maybe 2 Renogy batteries. If you can even stack them, they may not be stackable. And tall enough to fit the Blue Yeti in there. But yeah, that's why I haven't closed it off yet, because I don't know how I have to design the wood, how much space I have to leave on that side. And I need the middle to be open right now. That's what I was talking about. There's certain things I can't finish, because I would have had it done by now. I literally have everything I need to do it. But I gotta finish other things first, which I don't have everything. The cabinets will be nice when those are pretty much done. Like I said, the only thing I can't do for that is the barn doors. Well, I can do the barn doors. I can't install them until I get the track. The hinges for that with the roller. And basically when I finish the plumbing. So we'll see. I'm going to try and knock out the plumbing next weekend because the stuff I need to buy for plumbing is actually pretty cheap. The only expensive item is the water pump, and it's not really expensive. It's like $60 to $80. I can't remember specifically. I know it's under $100, but there's a few different kinds. And I'm just trying to get one that draws the least amount of power. Oh, it is 12:15. Yeah, happy 4th of July, everyone. I'll show you guys what this piece is looking like. It should be done in 3 weeks. Theoretically, in 3 weeks. I mean, I'll probably be close to done in 3 weeks. Like, everything will look done. But there still might be a couple things I have to order before I can live in the van. The last thing that I'm buying for the van is the refrigerator. Hold on. The last thing I'm buying is a refrigerator because I obviously don't need that until I've been to it. So the way Amazon's been taken lately is they take 2 to 3 weeks to send me shit that I order, which is out of my control. And they don't even offer a quicker shipping. This is really hard to show you guys because it's a dark stain and the lighting here sucks and this camera webcam sucks. I'm gonna have to just maybe take a picture of it and post it, which I'm at a community post today, so I'll have to wait till tomorrow. I'm trying to see if the camera refocuses a little bit, but it's very grainy on my end. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see like the different accents in the wood that just really come through the walnut color. And it's pretty dark. I'd say this is pretty dark for just, I put 2 coats on it. I lathered it up twice. And I haven't put any of the polyurethane on it yet. So it's not going to look shiny. This one, however, you probably have a better view of this one. This is for the barn doors and the siding of the cabinet and kitchen. Kind of you can get an idea of what one coat looks like with the color. And then the one over there is just a lot darker. That's what I'm saying. I think I might wait to put the polyurethane on that until I come home from work tomorrow and then let it. I'm actually going to line it up to where it'll be in the sunlight the majority of the day and let it dry or let it air dry. And then tomorrow, when I come home from work, we'll do this all over again. And then let it sit to Sunday. Wait, what's tomorrow? Tonight was Thursday, so tomorrow night was Friday night. So yeah, essentially sit out all day on Friday, and then we'll do it Friday night, and then it'll sit out all day Saturday for a second day, and then Sunday, when I can actually do stuff in my van and have all day, we can actually install the cabinet or the countertop, possibly. Don't quote me on it. I don't know if I should install it yet because unless I can get to where I have to do all my plumbing, and it won't matter if I put that in or not. If it doesn't matter, then I'll put it in. If it does, then I'll just wait till I finish my plumbing. I won't even have cabinet doors until those things come. So, but it would be nice to finish it so I have a place to set things in there when I'm working. It'd be nice to have like a surface in there besides the bed to set things on. Oh, I just realized. So the stainer I used on the cabinets is not the same color as the floor because the floor is kind of like a gray walnut. It's actually called gray walnut on the floors. but it's walnut, so it essentially matches the floors without matching the floors, if that makes sense. Like it looks like it goes well with the floors because it's walnut, but it's different because I didn't want to have the same thing, you know. I'm looking at my floors and I'm looking at that, and I can see how they match. And then the gun stock kind of ties it in because the gun stock's a lighter color. It's going to be hard to tell until I get the roof paneling in. And what I'm thinking about doing is when I finish up on Sunday, I'll probably take a break for a couple hours and shower and all that stuff. But when it gets dark out at night, it's easier to do this at night, the staining, when you're not in the dead heat of summer. I think what I'm going to do Sunday night is I'm going to stain the paneling that I have. I've got a bunch of paneling in this garage that I already bought. Got another 10 pieces or 8 pieces of it. We'll stain that Sunday night so it could dry all day on Monday. And then I might be able to do half of the roof with the paneling, just enough to where I can go over the walls that's already done and start working on the wall by the window, because I gotta use a jigsaw and cut myself some corner pieces that will fit around the window. And I got the marine sealant. I got an extra tube of marine sealant. It's right here. I think I got about a tube, one whole tube and 1/4 of a tube left. And this is my favorite stuff in the world. You've been watching for a while, you already know. This is what's going to be used to hold the paneling to the side wall of the van, because I obviously am not going to be able to drill or nail paneling to the hard metal siding. But I want to have the wall panels around the window. I want it to match and look nice and flush with what's in there already. So marine sealant, we're going to try it. It's what it's meant for, to go from either plastic to wood or wood to metal. So we'll see how that works. And that's what I'll be doing on Monday. We're focused on doing the cabinets on Sunday, finishing as much as I can up with that, which includes building the sliding drawer that comes out. I already have the hinges to do that. And I have plenty of material here to build something. I just got to build something. And then starting on the desk, I bought extra 2x4 this week, and I already have my top I'm using for my desk. You all remember the old countertops that I bought that weren't long enough? Of 2 pieces. There's 1 piece right there. It's exactly the same type of wood that is. But I ended up not wanting to go with 2 separate pieces for the counter. I just wanted 1 consistent long piece. That is what I'm using for the desktop. So I have the material I need to do the desk, which I have to measure the air conditioning unit, and essentially I got to build a pocket in between the bed and the desk where the AC goes. But I got to build the desk kind of to hold the AC unit in place and build around it. So I'm going to be doing that on Sunday as well, which it'll work out because I'll be able to have the AC unit in there anyways and kind of put it there where it's going to be and build around it. So I got lots to do on Sunday. But it'll be the first weekend I don't have anything major to do. Like, we're not cutting a hole in the wall to put a window or cutting a giant hole in the ceiling, you know. This is all stuff that if I mess up, I can rip it out like the cabinets. Remember, I tried doing them a certain way and I didn't like how it looked. I felt like it looked amateur at best and didn't really look nice, and I ripped it out of there. And then I just decided to go to Home Depot and buy different material, make it better, and then do it the next weekend. So the good news is everything I got to do, if I don't like it, I can change it. I'm not going to have a very big desk. I will say that. It's not going to be a big desk. Doesn't need to be. I'm not, the only thing I'd really use the desk for is for like to be able to have my laptop and my keyboard. And then under the desk, I bought a special clamp off of the TikTok store that mounts a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 5 Pro or the PlayStation 5 Slim. It's like a metal bracket, and there's a screw on the bottom of the PlayStation 5 that it hooks into, and then it grabs with arms and holds onto the PlayStation, and then that mounts and screws into the bottom of the desk. Well, there are two different ones. You have one that clamps. I got the one that screws in, so it doesn't ever fall off. And that's where my PlayStation 5 is going to be. It's going to be mounted under my desk. So it just has to be big enough to hold that. Couple things on top. Computer monitor and TV is going to be mounted to the wall. So the smaller the desk that I build, the better. The more space I'm going to have. More comfortable on the beam. So the desk is going to be no more wider than the countertops. Very narrow. Actually, you guys seen what the countertops would look like on the counter in there, right? I put that piece of wood on there. It's exactly the same, except lengthwise. So it doesn't come out far. Yeah, I'm thinking with that AC unit there, I could probably just box around it at the base. Just one piece of 2x3 going around the front of it, hugging it into the wall, and then use that wood to support the desk and build into the desk from there. I just need one piece of wood at the base of the AC unit to keep it from rolling and moving. And then what I'm going to do is on the inside of that piece of 2x3 that wraps around the air conditioning unit at the base, like I'd say probably about 3 inches up from the bottom of the AC unit, I'm going to just get some like black thin foam pieces and go along the inside of the wood and trim it so that way the AC unit doesn't clank against wood. It clanks against like foam. Or I could do rubber, I guess. So that rubber stuff I can put in there. And then we'll stain whatever wood I decide to use for that and make it match everything. So I think it'll look real nice when I finish it. I mean, shit. Most people probably didn't even think I'd make it this far. And I'd say I made it pretty far on my own so far, with minimal help by Gerald. I mean, I've made it a pretty good distance up to this point. The hardest part with the cabinets is already done. Building a structure sturdy enough to be able to support a top and leaving good amount of space inside that storage and fit a toilet and plumbing. I remember when I just started building the floors in this thing and it felt like it was going to be a long road, but even the floors came out nice. Keep in mind those floors have about an inch thick worth of between the top and bottom of insulation. That's why I don't hear it as much driving down the road anymore. Very sturdy floors. Oh yeah, I can take all this off. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to stain tonight, or if I just want to wait till tomorrow night to finish that up and do another coat. Because tonight is a work night. I have to go back to work all day tomorrow, so I really want to do too much tonight, but just enough, as much as I could. I have those countertops to the desk that I need to stain, but the problem is I don't know what stain I want to use on it. I don't know if I want to do the matching walnut, or I think for the desk, because on that side of the wall I'm not going to have as much gun stock paneling, maybe I'll go with the gun stock with the countertop for the desk. I don't know. And I'm not going to really know until I get that piece in there and assembled and decide is that really enough walnut, or do I want to do more walnut, or do I want to do more? I don't know. I don't want to stain it until I know. I already got a lot of gun stock going on. I'd say it's probably only about 4 feet worth of paneling going up on this wall, or maybe 5 feet. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of gun stock stain. The ceilings, this whole wall here, and then about 5 feet worth over there. Bed's going to be stained black, so that will kind of pop out. The reason I did the bed black, by the way, is because it kind of it's a dark color and it kind of just blends into the back. It's not the first thing that you're going to see when you are looking into the van. But I want the desk counter and the walnut counter. I just wanted the pop. I wish I could make a decision right now on what I want to do the desk. There is a third option I'm not thinking about. The third option is I can go to Home Depot and look at all their stainers again and see if there's another stainer that matches what I've already done and get that too. Because here's the thing, I can never buy too much stainer. Whatever I don't use, I'm giving to my landlord here, or Gerald, if he needs some. Like, I'm just going to be giving it to people that have helped me. So I don't care if I buy, like, too much or whatever. If I'm only buying a can to do, like, one thing. Damn, you got to work on the fourth. Shave, shower, lotion, and bed. I put lotion before shower. Yeah. I'll be taking a shower here. Well, I still got to brew my tea for the weekend. Basically, I brew my tea every 2 nights or every 3 nights because I don't have a lot of storage to store a bunch of tea. But that's my energy drink. That's what gets me through the day. And I got to brew some tonight before I go to bed. And usually when I do like a night game stream, when I pause in the middle of it, it's because I have to go steep my tea and drain it and then do another batch. So that's what I have to do tonight. And then I can take a shower and go to bed. Yeah, I think that's good for tonight. I don't know what I want to do with the desk countertop. I have it sitting, I have 2 pieces of wood sitting right there, and I only really need 1. But I kind of want to wait to see how this walnut comes out first. Especially since I'm doing another stain tomorrow, and we're going to have to wait a whole day for it to set in. I want to see how that comes out first because it's literally the exact same type of wood and cut of wood. And this wood that I bought for the counters, like for the desk and also this long piece, it wasn't cheap. It was pretty expensive for wood. And for a piece of wood that big, it's not really that big of wood. I mean, they didn't cut this for me. This is how it comes. This piece right here cost $22. The smaller piece cost 17 something. And it may not seem like a lot of money, but in the grander scheme of things, it adds up. It's not like the 2x4s that are only $3 a piece. And you get a lot out of one piece, I mean, you all seen how much I built in there already with very little. But this, it's not cheap. So like when you stain it something, and if you don't like it, or if you cut it wrong, then you have to go buy a new one. Have to go buy a new one and do it all over again. And I think for the desk, staining it tonight or tomorrow is not going to make any difference. It's not like I'm putting it in the van tonight or tomorrow. It's not happening until Sunday and Monday. But I will say this. This was a huge help right here. This shelf I got for free at work. Originally, I took it because I thought I was going to cut these little shelves out of it and get brackets on Amazon and restain these shelves and use them in my van as shelves above the kitchen. That was my plan. But then I seen they had like writing on them because it says 100% made in the USA, 100% natural, 100% made in the USA on them. So I was like, oh, it's an advertising stand. It was for something that they sold. I didn't see this. I only saw the back of it. But now I'm using it as a stand to paint or stain because it's nice. It holds everything. I don't have to worry about spilling on it. Because when I'm done, I'm just going to throw this away. Or actually, no, I probably won't throw it away. I'll cut it up and I'll throw it in the backyard so they can burn it in the fire pit this coming winter. I bet you this would burn nice. But yeah, that was a good grab for free. I bought this pegboard too for free. I don't know what to do with all of it. My manager literally asked me, "Are you going to get the other pegboard? If not, I'm going to throw it away." And I was like, "I don't know if I need it. I don't really have room for even the stuff I took." I also have an entire sheet of 1/4-inch unfinished plywood. I have no idea. There's nothing to use it for. I bought it for the floor, and I bought too much of it, and that cost me like $45 for that sheet. And I'm not gonna use it. I keep buying shit that I don't use. I could have bought the water pump for that. I don't see anything. I remember saying I was going to use it for the bed, but then I didn't like how pokey it was because it's untreated and unfinished. So I ended up having to get a different, smoother plywood for the bed. Yeah, there's not anything I don't think I can use it for. I mean, technically, I could cut it down and use it for the siding on the cabinets, but it would look like trash. I'm talking about this. I don't know if you could see it back there. That giant sheet of plywood behind the insulation right there. It's like the kind that you plywood up your windows with in a hurricane. Where, I mean, this is also plywood, but it's finished plywood. It's nice and smooth. It actually has wood grains in it. And it looks nice when you stain it. This is what it, so actually this is perfect. This is a before, and then this is the after. I'm sorry, I got it wrong. Fuck it. This is before, and then this is after. So you can see the difference. Before, after. And that's only one coat. Only put one coat on that. Also, well, half of this you're not even going to see because it's going to be on the sides behind my driver's seat and in between the bed. You're not even going to see it. And technically speaking, the barn door cabinets, it's gonna look different than that. I'm gonna try and do trim on it and make a barn door. I'm brainstorming right now for this weekend for what I'm gonna do. Making sure there's not anything extra I need to go buy at Home Depot tomorrow. I don't know, maybe I'll stop at Home Depot tomorrow because I want to look at their stainer. They have smaller cans too. If I'm only doing the desk, the countertop, and then a few pieces of wood that hold the desk up, I'm thinking like I'm gonna go look at the type of stainer that they have. And if I find something bolder than what I already have, I might buy it. And then I'll stain it tomorrow night. Unless I come out tomorrow and I'm like, oh, I really like this walnut a lot. I'm just going to make the desk match. I know. Let me know in chat. Like, do you think I should make the desktop match the counter that would be directly side by side? Like, it's going to be behind it, you know, on the other side of the bench. Should I make both surfaces match completely? Or does it not matter? Can I do like a different stain on the desk and get something that goes along with the theme, but it doesn't have to necessarily be exactly the same as the countertop? I gotta figure out what this goes to. I'm pretty sure this all goes to my back legs, which means this ugly ass wire hanging is gonna have to. This wire back here, I'm pretty certain is important. I'm sure this is all dry. I'm gonna have to like do something with this wire. It's supposed to be up higher. That goes in there. Okay. This van has so many wires, man. I don't even know what these have to be for the brake light system. And the reverse lights maybe. This is so much wire just for something so basic. And this wire is going to be very hard to hide because it's like not flush with the wall. It's like popped out. You can't really do anything with it. But you know what? I think if I overlap my walls with my ceiling panels, I should be able to overlap this wire here coming back. And then in the back, if I do like a, I don't know, I can have Gerald do me a really good weird cut because he's good at that. I'm not. I could tell him like, hey, can you cut me a piece of wood to hide this back here, like a weird cut, right in the both corners of the back wall going down. And then maybe I could just panel over it in the back. Because I have about a half of an inch between the top of the bed and the wall here. So we'll see. I think that would work. It just looks so ugly. I just don't understand why certain pieces are so popped out. Like, why didn't they just take this wire and run it actually in the metal frame of the van, like going up and down? I mean, it pretty much is, but then they got it popping out in the corner. Well, why not just go down this piece and run the wire into the lights? Like, why? What is the reason? Now, I don't think the previous owner did this. This definitely is how GM did it. Because everything was encased with the interior of the van. So that's crazy to me. That would be external, not internal. Pretty sure that wire up front there, up running on the wall, that's all done. I can take all that out at least. Yeah, it looks like the only wiring that's important that comes back here, runs back here, is run on the driver's side wall or on the roof, kind of. Anything over here coming down this wall is aftermarket. I don't know, man. I fucking hate ugly ass wires, especially shit that I can't do anything with. We'll figure a way to cover that. 100%. We'll definitely figure out a way to hide all of that. It's just a matter of craftsmanship, and fortunately for me, I have somebody with years and years of experience of carpentry and woodcutting and handyman work that will most certainly know exactly how to hide that. Alright, I need to put these in a safe place so I can reuse these tomorrow. Somewhere, well, you know what I can do? I can wrap them in this. I don't want bugs or dust getting on these, and I gotta put them in the garage. Uh-oh. Okay. No, there's a good place. Oh no, maybe not there. Fuck, where the fuck am I gonna put this? Alright, you know what? I'm gonna just set it on top of the black steam can over here. Those fall on the fucking garage floor, they're done. There's no coming back from the fucking dirt on this floor. Be smearing dirt into the wood. Right, these are brand new. These in my box here. Anything paint related or stain related, I put on this side of the garage, and then any tools or anything like that, hardware goes on that side. So that way, I kind of know where everything is. I think their stream ended. That's why it got so quiet. Fuck. Alright, so I gotta leave this walnut out for tomorrow. Actually, this walnut's almost gone. This was extra stainer that she's not using anymore. So she gave this one to me. The other ones I bought. But I think she used this originally for her bathroom. Years, like a couple of years ago. And she's like, you should check out that walnut stainer I have in the bathroom if you like it. I got a half of the can left. And I'm glad she brought it up because it definitely looks nice. Definitely worth it. Alright, so got that away. Oh wait, what am I fucking doing? I literally have a shelf. Why am I not just putting stuff on the shelf and moving the shelf? Where this has to go is behind this, so I gotta move you guys. Gotta move you guys. This has gotta go in this hole here. Please don't fall. There we go. Out of the way. Now, this trash bag here, which absolutely serves no purpose tonight. Stir stick. And just stick up here on the shelf. Trash box with nasty stain rags. I'm gonna hold on to this for tomorrow. Keep filling that up. What you doing, Valentina? You're being all quiet. Come here. Come here. You come say hi to people. Eat the puppies. Come here, Valentina. You need to say hi to people. You want to say hi to the camera right here? Look, Valentina. Look. Look. Come here. That's how quiet she is. I bet you all didn't even know she was out here the whole time. She was just chilling, watching me stain. She's just watching me stain. Where's your flea collar? Hold on. Is it under your collar? Oh, it is. Okay, good. Make sure your flea collar's on. Oh, man. I'm gonna go potty real quick. I'm gonna go potty. All right, come here. Good girl. All right, come here. Go potty. Go potty. Go potty. All right. Wait, what? Oh, what's up, Serena? What's up, FCC? So they could build a school out of it. The Axis would. No, but we should go find the Amish settlements and tell them that zombies are coming. That they need to get prepared because the zombies are invading from China. They need to store up on vegetables and supplies and barricade themselves in the house so that the zombies don't eat them. I'm just kidding. That would be fucked up. They don't have internet, so how are they going to fact check? I see Amish people all the time. Sometimes they come into my job, like a whole van of them. And no offense or anything, because they're coming from like a farm a lot of times, but they literally make the biggest mess when they come into my store because they always have caked on mud. Because, you know, they're in the fields working. They like caked on mud and grass and all sorts of shit on the bottom of their boots. And when they come into my job, like, and they usually come late at night too, like 2 hours before I'm closed. Like, I've already swept the entire store, and they'll come in and just track dirt and mud all through the store, and I'll have to fucking redo everything. I hate it. And now we're getting a lot of baseball players, so now it's the baseball field clay. So we're going to keep this cooler in the van just in case it ends up leaking again. It's always handy to have. Where are you at, Valentin? Oh, there you are. Come here. Come here. There you are. Did you have a good day today? Did you hang out with everybody? You're a good girl. I'll give you a bone when we go inside. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a bone. With the bunch. Gosh. With the belly rubs. You're excited to go in the van? You excited to go in the van? Yes, you are. You love road trips, especially permanent ones. All right. Let's see. All right, that can stay. You keep the towel in there because I need to have a towel in there in case, God forbid, this thing fucking leaks again. I need to be able to have something to wipe down the bed. See, the good thing is, as much as this ended up leaking on my bed, the bed is now dry. And I think it's because pretty sure this was treated wood that I put on here, so it's not going to absorb as much the water as untreated. Or maybe the stainer I put on it helped add a layer to where the wood didn't absorb it, but it wiped right up. All I'm feeling right now is that this wood up here is cold, because it's cold out, or cool, but not wet. The towel's wet, or well, the towel's damp, because not today, but the day before when this was leaking, when it rained, this got wet. And then I fixed it. Sorry, not yesterday, the day before yesterday. Because I live streamed when I fixed it. Since I fixed it in the Home Depot parking lot, no water came through today, and it fucking dumped. Like it, honestly, if it was gonna leak, it would have leaked today. But I would have thought I was in a car wash. It was coming down hard. So hopefully that holds up. If it doesn't, I have a plan B. My plan B is to just scrape out all the marine sealant, and there's a lap tapes or lap sealant or whatever, and go over with that, which is better for like weird holes and stuff. You just go over the whole thing, and then cover it with marine sealant. That would work, but I may not have to. Because for that lap stuff, that stuff costs like $74 a pack or whatever. And I really don't want to have to invest any more money than I already have into fixing that. That's now killed a tube and a half of marine sealant, which is about $35 worth. $35. I'll check the comments. Where did I put? Oh, it's over there. Oh, I finally got rid of my Xbox S today. You know, I've been debating. I think I told you guys I was debating on should I keep the Xbox S, should I get rid of it? And after, building this van out and really getting a clear view of how much space I'm not going to have, I was like, I could really use the money from this to order that battery to put towards what I had to get the battery. The Xbox S, like I would have had to mount it as well to protect it, or it would have ended up taking up space somewhere that I didn't want to lose space at. And I don't use it. I haven't even played the Xbox S since I got the PlayStation Pro 5. And it really, I would have never used it. I'm just being honest with you guys. Like, the only game on the Xbox S that I would possibly even whip it out to play would be Flight Sim. And the reason I haven't done that at all is because the newer Flight Simulator is absolutely horrible on the Xbox S. Like, it glitches, it lags, it's horrible. So anyways, I haven't used it, and it just sits there, and it's still worth money at GameStop. Like, they'll give you 120. I have a pro account, so I got $123 for it today. The resale on them is anywhere from 150 to 175. So they're obviously going to mark it up and get that for it. But regardless, I never used it. It was pointless. I have a PlayStation Pro. Like, if you have a PlayStation Pro, you're not going to go anywhere near an Xbox S. Like, graphic-wise for one, game-wise for two, everything that was on the S, I now have on the PlayStation Pro because I bought all those same games already. Um, my plan is this: when I'm living in the van, and when I get everything I need to get for like filming and making videos and content wise, and I have all my stuff, and I get my rooftopper put on after I'm done saving for that in the future, I can just buy a new Xbox. I can get the Xbox X, or probably by then they're gonna have like the new Xbox, whatever that's called. Um, Definitely something way bigger than the S that can, just for the pure reason of being able to do Flight Simulator again. Um, but I need a better. It's either that or I have to get a computer, and I'm not really a computer gamer. I'm a console person, and the Xbox X would run Flight Sim very well. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. I'll get an Xbox X in the future, but I still have my Pro. Um, so that's one less thing I have to worry about electronically hooking up in here. That's one less thing that's going to take up power. And I was able to put that money today towards ordering my battery instead of having to wait a whole nother week to order the battery that I need. So I got that ordered today, and it's still going to take up to 2 weeks to get the battery. So that's why I was like, I really need to get this battery now, so I'm not waiting 3 weeks from now to get the battery, because I kind of need the battery to make sure, like when I get the exhaust fan replacement, the refrigerator, and all that stuff hooked up, I need to run everything on cycles with the battery to make sure I have enough power to run everything. If I don't, then I got to get more batteries or a different battery. So, anyways, I don't have the Xbox S anymore. I got rid of it. It was just taking up dust on the bed. I will say this: GameStop did try me today. I don't know if anybody's ever heard bad reviews about GameStop, but they tried my ass today. He plugged in the Xbox, which, by the way, has nothing wrong with it. In immaculate condition, clean. No, for it being white, it was very clean. There was no fingerprints on it, nothing. He plugged it in, and the fan was slightly loud sounding, like he heard the motor. And he goes, "Oh, this might depreciate the value of this by like $50. We're gonna have to give you $50 less because the fan sounds a little loud." I'm like, bro, it's an Xbox S. It's 2 years old, and there's not anything wrong with it. And then he hooked it up to his system, and the system didn't tell him that there was anything wrong with it. They have to run their tests or whatever, but they literally tried me. They tried like jipping me $50 on a system that clearly worked, that had no problems, because the fan sounded loud. Like, bro, I guarantee you, if you guys hook up all your pre-owned systems in the store right now, you're gonna hear a fan. They tried me, but they didn't get away with it. Oh, and then they also tried to make me buy an HDMI cable because the one I brought in was too short. The one I brought in was 3 feet. I don't know if it's the one that came with it, but it was just a regular HDMI cable, 3 feet long. And he's like, "Oh, it's a little short." I'm gonna have to charge you for an HDMI cable. They're $15. Or we'll take it off what? I'm like, no. I was about to walk with it and just try my luck on offer up, but yeah, I ended up getting what I should have gotten for it. So, or the most that they would give me. I think primarily because I have a pro account. If I didn't have a pro account, they would have definitely not have been as willing to not be assholes. But I warn people, if you ever go to GameStop and try and sell them, they're going to nickel and dime you on literally everything. And if you have time, which I don't have time, like time's not really on my side, I recommend selling shit online first. I don't have time to wait. Fuck GameStop. But when they seen that I bought my PlayStation Pro from that exact store and I had a pro account, his entire demeanor and attitude changed, because I think altogether I spent like close to $700, close to it, maybe more, because I had to go back and get another controller. But What's up, Tully? I haven't seen you in a while. 3 feet standard, just asked him. Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I just and I don't have any regrets about getting rid of it. I wanted to the only reason I wanted to hang on to it was for Flight Simulator, but even before I got the PlayStation Pro, I stopped playing Flight Sim. You all remember I tried to stream it. It would literally freeze up on me in the middle of playing it, or it would crash, or there would be some crazy ass glitch where the pilot's hanging halfway out of the plane and you can't fix it. So it runs on the S, but it really doesn't. But I did keep, so I kept my Xbox power or controller charger station, which you put two controllers on it, and that thing alone's like $35. I kept that and the charging cable for it. I kept my Xbox headphones, which I actually use on my PlayStation to plug into my controller. I also kept the pilot flight control system I have for the Xbox to do flight sim. Like I kept all that. So the only thing I'll have to get in the future is a new controller and Xbox X or whatever, whenever I want to. But I really don't want to. I have plenty to do on my PlayStation Pro. Like I only really play the same games all the time that I'm interested in. So like how are you gonna go from 4K to HD? You know what I'm saying? Like a 4K quality game to HD. Like how are you gonna go from one to the other when you could just play in 4K on a 4K monitor, you know? It makes no sense. Plus, PlayStation, to me anyways, PlayStation has way better games than Xbox does, aside from Flight Sim. I'll give it to them. Flight Sim is a great game on their good consoles. But everything else, I'd say Madden and MLB The Show is probably around the same between consoles, but the games run way better on my Pro. Like everything's smooth on the Pro because storage and all that stuff. Hey, what's up, FM? Flex Seal? I didn't get to use the Flex Seal. I'll show you. I had a tin of it. As seen on TV, the TV commercials, the famous commercials, Flex Seal. I was going to use this to fix the leak on the exhaust fan, and I didn't end up needing it. Why? Because this stuff came in clutch, and it's better. I, honest to God, I think this is way better than Flex Seal, but then again, these are two completely different things. Like, this isn't an adhesive, it's just meant to stop a leak. This stuff will stop a leak. It's graded for boats because it's marine, but it will also act as adhesive. Like, it's super strong. Like, it's literally what's holding the wood, um, the base wood to my metal walls because I couldn't, there was no place to bolt them in at. So, I'll tell you what, one day if my channel ever grows and this company's out there, I'm all for a sponsorship. Just send me a bunch of tubes of these. I'll keep them in the back of my van. You know, no pun intended, for a rainy day. Who knows? I might have a leak again in the future, and I need some. Practically building my entire van with that shit. Like, kind of. I'm gonna be using that marine sealant to go like basically everything you see right now structurally. When I'm done with the cabinets, I'm planning on using the marine sealant to go in where I bolted things in and go over the corners with it to use it to help hold everything together. You plugged your inbuilt water collection system short-sighted? No, I don't have a actual water collection system. I have an unwanted water collection system on the roof. The roof, so the back, I don't know how it happened. Obviously, it wasn't when I had the van. I don't know how it happened, but the back quarter portion of the roof of the van looks like somebody of very big physical size or heaviness and gravity worked together and created a crater in the back of the van in the roof. So now the roof. So basically, think of it like this. So we cut a hole in the back of the roof right in the center, and that's where we put the exhaust fan. Think of my exhaust fan as the city of New Orleans. We all know, we all love New Orleans. It's in Louisiana. It's a very nice place, especially the French Quarter. During the fall time, it's a nice place to go, by the way. But anyways, think of my exhaust fan as the French Quarter. Think of the French Quarter is now sunken below the roof line and where the roof line should be. And think of the edges of the exhaust fan as the levee system in the French Quarter in Louisiana. The last couple nights, basically, what happened was Hurricane Katrina came through, and the levees couldn't hold up the water because it overran the levee system, and it flooded into my car, and we had another Hurricane Katrina. That's basically what's going on here. And I basically George W. Bush 2000 the entire edges of the exhaust fan with I built levees, and now it's not flooding anymore. So that's basically what's going on. In the grand scheme of things, that's the best way I can explain it to you all. And there's no way I can fix it because it's the roof. Are we still live? I don't know. Am I back on? Sorry about that. My computer literally died on me. I seen the battery notification and I thought I had more time than I did, but apparently not. What's up, Sam? Nice to see you. I'm muted. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Am I still muted? I'm starting to wonder if this microphone on this computer is going on me. I don't know. I never use this computer to stream or anything anymore. Can you guys hear me now? Am I good now? I hope I'm good now. I'm using my headset. Telly's saying no. Oh gosh. Do the lights strobe? Actually, you know what? The lights might strobe. Or they change colors. Maybe they don't strobe. They just do this. Wait, go back. There we go. I don't know, that shit would trip me out. No, but this camera I have on this computer really isn't that good. I mean, I could try and wipe it with paper towel and see if maybe it's just smudged. I mean, I don't really have any use for this computer. I'm not really planning on doing any live streams from it in the future. I'm just using it because it was easier to use in the meantime. The whole have a camera while I'm working, but when I get my phone holder or whatever in the mail, I'll be going live from my phone again. No, I can see chat now. I had like some people saying they couldn't hear me and some people saying they could. Well, anyways, I am going to be doing another Van Stain stream tomorrow night to finish the two pieces that I stained tonight. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do another coat on the cabinet siding just for extra measure, and then I'm definitely doing two more coats on the countertop, and then I'm gonna try and make a choice by tomorrow night on what I'm gonna do with the desk, like what color I'm gonna stain it, so that way I can get that done tomorrow night too. And I think I'm gonna go to Home Depot tomorrow and pick out if I'm gonna pick out another stainer. I might just go with the gun stock because I have a lot of gun stock stainer, but I don't think I'll have enough walnut to do the desk. I mean, I think I have enough walnut left to do the what I did tonight, but I don't think I have enough to do the desk. So I'll have to pick something up if I don't go with what I already have. And my only other two options right now is the classic black, which I don't really want to use for the desk, and then the gun stock, which I'm kind of torn on. So, alrighty, guys. Well, I appreciate you all being here. I'm gonna go brew some tea, and I'm glad I was at least able to recover the live so I could say goodnight to everybody. But I gotta brew some tea, take a shower, go to bed. It's 1:26. I don't know if I'm going to do a game stream or not. I don't know. It takes me about an hour to make tea, so I might be able to do like one game stream while I'm doing that, but I gotta get to bed early tonight and or like earlier so I'm not like tired tomorrow. Never take your vehicle to a Kentucky car wash. Oh, right. Yeah, no. No bueno. There's some crazy people in this world. All right, y'all. Hope you all have a great evening. I will see you all in the next one, which will be tomorrow night. And I'll actually be able to finish everything tomorrow night for Sunday. And got lots of good streams coming up this Sunday for you. Lots of work still left to do. And the goal is to hopefully finish 90% of the cabinets this weekend, except for the front door of it because I don't have that yet. It's got to come in the mail. Oh, I'll show you guys real quick before I end this what I got. What I'm waiting for in the mail, anyways. Let me get my Amazon account here. Track and manage orders. Here it is. So it's saying the cabinet doors will arriving July 12th. Right there. Arriving July 12th. And then also the exhaust duct and then the hole cutter, the metal hole cutter I need for the hole in the van for that, but that is what I ordered. Not the actual wood itself. That's what I stained tonight cuz I'm making that, but the actual metal hinges and the roller that's on, I'm waiting to get that in the mail. It's a 4-foot track and the cabinets are 6 foot, so obviously, there's going to be two of them, so we'll see how it turns out anyways. Oh, let me go back here. And then this is the exhaust vent that I got coming in the mail. I'll have to go back after this picture and look at what date it's going to be here, but there's the actual vent itself. It's got a bug screen in there, and then the vents pop open when you turn the air on. And I got white, so that way it would actually match the white wall in my van. That says that it will be here August 7th through July 11th. August 7th through July 11th. So it could come anytime next week, basically. So we'll see. And then the solar panel, the little cap for the solar panel, this thing, to run the wires into the van. Come on. This thing right here is a very important piece. This says it's going to be here on Tuesday next week. But that's basically how I hook the solar panels up into this and then run the wire through a hole in the roof. And then this cap right here is supposed to cover that hole. So I don't have like a big giant hole because the hole's going to be the size of a quarter. And we already had to deal with the last leak. That's why I waited. But I don't have anything to hook the solar panels up to anyways until the Blue Yeti battery comes, which I'll show you guys that real quick. This is what I got coming, and it's by July 22nd. Very powerful battery system. It's a Blue Yeti AC 180, and it's got 3,500 cycles or up to 10 years battery life in it until it ends up. I think they said after 3,500 cycles, which is equivalent to around 10 years, The battery goes from 100% capacity to 80% capacity. So it will stay at 100% capacity for up to 3,500 cycles, is what they tested it on. So whenever that comes, that will be nice. But I need that to hook the solar panels up to. So that's when I was telling you guys it's not really a rush on certain things right now because I can't finish some things because I'm waiting for things to come in the mail. But I'll get there. I'm pretty certain in like 3 weeks I should be either done or very close to being done. Like maybe I have to order one or two things by that time, but by next weekend, the cabinets will be completely done, just waiting the doors to go on them and the plumbing done. And then the desk will be done. The desk should be done this weekend, honestly, because I think I got everything I need for the desk. I might have to go to Home Depot and get a couple of hinges for it to mount to the wall. But I'm gonna finish the paneling that goes behind the desk, that little short piece, and then that will give me another place to hook into. So should be able to finish the desk by Monday. And I think those hinges that I need are at Home Depot. They're just like a regular shelf hinge, basically, is what I need. Something that can at least support up to like 100 to 200 pounds, I'd say. But got once I finish the cabinets in the desk, it's pretty much a wrap structurally, other than putting the roof panels on and finishing up the wall trim and all that stuff. It's pretty much done with like the construction portion of the build and more so of just ordering appliances, getting them in and hooking up all the electrical stuff and components. And oh, and I have to finish insulating, which I have insulation still. Um, I think I'm gonna try and finish the insulation in the roof this weekend too. Get all that put in anyways, so it's all done. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great evening, and I will see you all on the next stream. Thanks for watching. Peace.